Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real English Conversation. I hope you are doing really well today. I hope your mind feels clear and your body feels relaxed. And honestly, I hope you are watching this with a little smile because we love being here with you. I slept well last night, so I feel energized. How about you, Adam? How is your day going?
My day is going great. I woke up a little earlier than usual, and I took a small walk outside. There was this soft morning breeze that felt amazing on my face. You know, when the air feels cool and kind of peaceful, it just puts you in a good mood instantly. And everyone watching, welcome back. We hope your day is going smoothly too. No stress, no hurry. Just sit comfortably and enjoy this friendly little chat with us.
Yes, exactly. And honestly, you all bring such warm energy here. Every time we read your comments, we feel like we are talking with real friends, not strangers on the internet. Speaking of which, do not forget to hit that like button and tell us in the comments how you are doing today. Even just a small "I am feeling good" makes us smile.
Oh, absolutely. Leave a comment right now. Tell us where you are watching from, or tell us what time of the day it is for you. Morning, afternoon, late at night. We love to imagine everyone watching from different places. And Jessica, by the way, you look bright today. Did you have a good breakfast?
I did. I had a bowl of oatmeal with fruits, and I don't know, it made me feel healthy. When I eat good food in the morning, my whole day feels different. And now that we are here, I feel even better. So, Adam, what about you? What did you eat?
Oh, I had eggs, toast, and a big cup of coffee. Maybe too big. I was kind of shaking at one point because the caffeine was working too strongly. But I calmed down, and now I'm just excited for today's conversation. And we have a topic that feels warm, personal, close to the heart.
Yes, we do. Something everyone can relate to. Something that always comes up in real conversations at school, at work, at family gatherings, with strangers, with friends, just everywhere.
And I love this topic because it makes people smile. It brings back memories, good memories, funny memories, emotional memories. It makes you feel connected.
So, should we tell them?
Yes, go for it.
All right. Today, we're going to talk about how to talk about your family. And as always, we're not teaching in a classroom style. We're simply talking openly, naturally, warmly about our own families. And from that, you will automatically learn how to talk about your family too.
Exactly. This is just a friendly conversation. Nothing heavy, nothing complicated, just two friends chatting about the people they love. And everyone watching, feel free to comment something like, "My mother is kind," or "I have one older brother." Share your stories. We would love to read them.
So, Adam, when you hear the word family, what is the very first picture that appears in your mind? Not an idea, not a definition, just a feeling.
Honestly, my mother's face, her smile. She has this really warm, gentle smile that makes you feel safe instantly. Even now, when I visit home, the moment she opens the door and smiles at me, I feel like everything is okay in the world.
That is such a beautiful first thought. My mother also comes to my mind first. She has a very soft voice. Even when I'm stressed or upset, just hearing her say my name makes me calm. It is like she has this natural soothing effect, kind of like a warm blanket, but in voice form.
I love that description. A warm blanket in voice form. That is perfect. My mother is also someone who loves to take care of people. Like if a guest comes over, she will not let them leave without eating something. She has this natural talent for hospitality.
That means making guests feel welcome and comfortable.
Yes, hospitality. My mother is also like that. She always made tea for visitors, even people she did not know well. She believed that offering something small, like a drink or a snack, was a way of giving love.
It is exactly what my mother thinks too. So tell me, what was she like when you were younger?
Oh, she was extremely busy because she worked a lot. But even with a busy schedule, she always made time for me. She helped me with homework, she cooked breakfast, she listened to my silly stories from school. She never made me feel like she was too busy. That was her magic.
She sounds like an amazing mom. You know, my mother is more talkative. She tells a lot of stories. Sometimes when I come home late, she sits with me and tells me everything that happened in the neighborhood, even the smallest detail. And somehow it's always interesting.
Some mothers just have that storytelling talent. They can talk about simple things and still make them sound warm and fun. And speaking of stories, your father, what is he like? I am curious.
My father is the funny one in the family. He laughs loudly, he talks loudly, he tells stories loudly. He's full of energy. He walks into a room and suddenly you feel like something fun is going to happen. And he loves repeating stories. I've heard some of them at least 50 times, but he adds a new little detail every time, so I still enjoy them.
That sounds like such a joyful person. My father is the opposite. He is very calm, not shy, but peaceful. He speaks slowly and only when needed. When I was a kid, he helps me with difficult school subjects because he explained things so clearly. He has this thoughtful way of speaking, like he chooses his words carefully.
Calm fathers are amazing. My father tries to explain things, but he gets excited and starts skipping too many details, then forgets what he was explaining. And my mother jumps in and says, "Focus, focus," and we all laugh.
That is adorable. Families always have these small moments that you cannot forget. They become part of your heart. Speaking of unforgettable things, what about siblings? You have one older sister, right?
Yes, she is older by 3 years, and oh my goodness, when we were kids, she behaved like a second mother. She told me what to wear, what not to touch, what to say, what not to say. At the time, it annoyed me, but now I understand she was protective. Even now, if someone criticizes me, she becomes angry before I can react.
That is such a classic older sister thing, and it's so sweet. I have a younger brother, 2 years younger. When we were kids, we argued about everything: remote control, snacks, toys, everything. But now, he's like one of my best friends. He still makes jokes about me, but in a loving way.
I love hearing about sibling relationships. They grow so much over time. When you are young, you fight. When you grow up, you laugh about those fights.
Exactly. And you know, a big part of my childhood was my grandmother. She lived with us for many years.
Same here. My grandmother was the heart of the family.
Mine too. She used to wake up very early. She loved gardening. I remember hearing her soft footsteps in the backyard and the sound of her watering the plants. It was such a peaceful sound. It made me feel safe.
Oh, that is such a beautiful memory. My grandmother used to tell us bedtime stories every single night. Her voice was magical. She told the same stories sometimes, but each time she added a new detail and made it fresh. Even now, when I close my eyes, I can hear her voice.
Grandparents add a special kind of love to life. Softer, slower, more patient.
You know, when I think about family, I also think of my cousins. We were like a small gang when we were kids, running around, climbing trees, making silly plans.
Oh my goodness, same. I have 2 cousins I grew up with. We were inseparable. We rode bicycles together, collected stickers, and pretended we were detectives, solving mysteries around the house.
Childhood memories with cousins are honestly some of the
best memories in life.
True. And the nice thing is, even though we're older now, when we meet, the inner child wakes up again.
Yes, suddenly you laugh at the same silly jokes you made when you were 8 years old.
Exactly. Families do that. They hold your old memories in their hands. You know, Adam, when we talk about family like this, it reminds me how much these relationships shape us. I mean, even the small habits we have today come from our family. For example, I always fold blankets neatly. And do you know why? Because my grandmother was obsessed with neat blankets. If she saw a blanket that was even a little bit messy, she would stop everything, walk over, and fix it. And she did it with this serious look on her face, like she was handling an important mission.
Oh, that is so relatable. My father is the same with the kitchen towels. He always wants them aligned perfectly. If someone moves one towel just a tiny bit, he notices immediately. He does not get angry, he just quietly adjusts it. That small moment always makes me smile because it shows his personality.
These little things stay with you. They become part of you. And they show how each family member influences you in such gentle, almost invisible ways. Like my mother. She always said, "Speak gently first." And now, whenever I am upset, I take a deep breath before speaking. I think that comes from her calm nature.
I love that. And listening to you reminds me of something my grandmother used to say. She always said, "A house is warm when people listen to each other." And that always stayed in my heart. It means that a home feels peaceful when there's respect and attention, when people actually hear you.
That is such a beautiful phrase, and so true. Communication makes a family feel whole. Even simple things like, "How was your day?" or "Did you eat?" make you feel cared for.
Speaking of eating, my family used to have dinner together every single night. It was a rule. No phones, no TV, nothing. Just food and conversation. And I really miss that.
Aw, that sounds lovely. We also had that tradition. Dinner time was the time we all gathered in one room, shared what happened in the day, complained, laughed, teased each other, everything. I think dinners like that make families closer.
Absolutely. And actually, that is a good point for everyone watching. If you want to talk about your family in a natural way, talk about small routines like this. Dinners, breakfasts, little rules at home. Those tiny details show the real personality of your family.
Yes, yes. And viewers, while you listen, feel free to leave a comment about one routine your family has. Maybe you eat together. Maybe you watch a TV show together. Maybe you have a weekend tradition. Share it with us. We love reading your stories.
And talking about routines reminds me of something a little emotional for me. When I was young, my father used to drive me to school every morning. And during the drive, he played the same old music playlist, songs from when he was young. At first, I hated the songs. They were slow, old-fashioned, and honestly kind of boring to a kid. But now when I hear even one of those songs, my heart feels warm. It brings me back to those quiet mornings with him.
That is touching. Music carries memories so powerfully. My mother used to play old romantic songs when she cleaned the house. I remember the sound of the vacuum cleaner mixed with her singing. She cannot sing very well, by the way, but she sings loudly and happily. And whenever I hear those songs today, I feel like I'm standing in our old living room again.
It is amazing how our minds store these things. It's like a photo album, but in sound form.
Exactly. Family is basically a collection of small moments that become big memories.
You think they don't matter at the time, but later you realize they shaped who you are.
Speaking of memories, there is one story about my older sister that always makes me laugh. When I was around 7 years old, she used to dress me up like her doll. She would pick clothes for me, fix my hair, and even tell me how to pose for photos. At the time, I did not enjoy it. But now, when we look at those old pictures, we laugh until tears come. My sister always says, "You were my favorite project."
That is adorable. My younger brother and I also have a funny story. He used to copy everything I did. Not sometimes, always. If I sat in a certain way, he sat the same way. If I used a new phrase, he used it too. If I got a new notebook, he wanted the same one. It was cute, but also annoying at the time. But now, when we talk about it, we laugh.
You know, this makes me think about how family shapes our habits and even our identities. And I love how you shared that about your brother. It shows how siblings often admire each other secretly, even if they did not say it.
Yes, and that reminds me, this is a good time to explain something small. The word admire. It means to look up to someone or respect them deeply. My brother never said he admired me, but his actions showed it.
That is a great explanation. And you said it so casually. That is the exact way we want our viewers to learn, naturally, without stress, without pressure. Everyone watching, take a moment and comment. Who influenced you the most in your family? Could be your mother, father, grandmother, uncle, cousin. Anyone. We will read every single comment.
You know, Adam, I'm curious about something. What was the atmosphere like in your home growing up? Was it loud, quiet, playful?
Oh, it was loud, extremely loud. My father talks loudly, my mother laughs loudly, my sister argues loudly, even the dog barked loudly. Our house was full of energy all the time. There was always some sound, music, conversation, laughter, something falling, someone calling someone else. It was chaotic, but in a warm way.
I love that. My house was almost the opposite. It was peaceful. Calm voices, soft steps, even arguments were quiet because my father believed shouting brought bad energy, so we talked things out slowly. I think growing up in that kind of environment made me speak softly today.
Yes, you really do have a soft way of speaking, and that is interesting. Two different childhood atmospheres, but both still full of love.
Exactly. There's no right kind of home. Every family has its own rhythm.
True. And speaking of rhythm, did your family have any special celebrations, like something unique you did on birthdays or holidays?
Oh, yes. On every birthday, my mother made a cake, even if she was busy or tired. And she always wrote a little note on paper and hid it under my pillow. Something simple like, "I am proud of you," or "Keep shining." I still have some of those notes in a small box.
Well, that is beautiful. My family had a very funny birthday tradition. On your birthday, the family woke you up by singing loudly and terribly on purpose. The goal was to sing as off-key as possible. It was a disaster, but a funny one.
That sounds chaotic and sweet at the same time.
It really was. And even now, whenever I stay at my parents' house on my birthday, they still do it.
That is adorable. You know, your family sounds very lively. I can feel the energy when you describe them.
And your family sounds warm and gentle. I can imagine your home being peaceful and calm. It is amazing how different families are, yet the love feels familiar.
Dear fans, if you like our chat, please like, comment, and subscribe.
You know, Jessica, talking about these memories makes me realize how lucky we are to have our families in some form. Even if it is not perfect, it is full of moments that teach us, make us laugh, and sometimes even make us a little frustrated, but in a good way.
Yes, exactly. That is the truth. Families are never perfect, and that is the beauty. And even arguments or small disagreements become stories you tell later with a smile. I remember when my brother and I had a big fight over a comic book. He hid it, and I thought he lost it forever. I cried, he cried, and in the end, we laughed about it. That story is still one of my favorites.
Oh, I love stories like that. I have one about my sister, too. Once, she painted my room without asking. Not a big deal, just one wall. But she chose bright orange. Bright orange. I was furious at first, but looking back, I think it made my room more cheerful. And the laughter we shared later was priceless.
That is funny. These small, silly moments are what make family stories so relatable. And you know, Adam, I think that is something important to mention to our viewers. When you talk about your family in English or any language, do not just focus on serious events. Even little, funny, or strange moments are perfect to talk about. They show personality and warmth.
Absolutely. Like, if you want to tell a story about your father, you could say, "My father always tries to fix things himself, even if he breaks them more than before." Simple, funny, and real. People understand it immediately.
Exactly. And that is natural conversation, not forced, not like, today I will teach you how to describe your father. Just real life. And viewers, you can try that too. Share one small, real story about your family in the comments now. We really want to hear it.
And you know, Jessica, talking about family sometimes makes me a little emotional. I remember my grandmother passed away when I was 12. I was very young, but her presence stayed with me. She was kind, patient, funny in her own way, and always full of stories. Losing her felt like losing a small part of my heart.
I understand that feeling. I lost my grandfather when I was a teenager. He was quiet, but so wise. He never raised his voice. Even when he scolded me, it felt like love, not anger. And thinking about him now always makes me feel warm and safe. I carry him in my memories.
Yes, and these moments, even though they are sad, teach you to appreciate the people who are still with you. They remind you to notice the small gestures of love, like my grandmother's way of patting my hand gently when I felt nervous. It's such a tiny gesture, but unforgettable.
That is very true. And I think this is another natural tip for everyone. When you talk about your family, do not just say names or jobs. Talk about gestures, habits, small moments. That makes your story alive and relatable.
Do you remember our childhood holidays? My cousins and I used to compete in the silliest contests. One year, we tried to see who could eat the most grapes in 1 minute. I won, obviously, but then my stomach hurt for hours.
Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. My brother and I also had competitions. Not grapes, but we tried to run the fastest while holding a book on our head. I fell, he fell, the dog chased us. Chaos, absolute chaos.
That is the perfect family memory. Funny, small, but unforgettable. And it shows character. It shows how your family allowed you to be silly. And that is important when talking about family. Don't be afraid to share something playful. It is real life.
Yes, and viewers, if you have a funny or silly family memory, please share it in the comments. We will be laughing with you in our hearts.
You know, Jessica, another way to talk about your family is to describe their personalities. Not just names, not just who they are, but what they are like. For example, I can say, "My father is very energetic and loves telling stories. My mother is patient and calm. My sister is protective and funny. Short, simple, and it gives a clear picture.
Exactly. Or you can tell it with small examples. Instead of just saying, my grandmother is kind, you can say, my grandmother always gives the best hugs and makes you feel safe.
That is natural and easy to understand. And for learners, it is perfect. It is not complicated. You're sharing your life naturally.
And we should not forget extended family. Cousins, uncles, aunts, they add so much color. My uncle was very funny. He always told bad jokes, but we laughed anyway. And my cousin was mischievous. He used to hide things in my room just to see my reaction. I would get frustrated, but he would smile. Those moments are memories I will never forget.
Same here. My cousins are my partners in crime. We made little clubs in the backyard, created secret codes, drew maps. It was like a tiny adventure world. And the fun part, every time we meet now, even as adults, we fall back into those roles and laugh as if nothing changed.
That is the beauty of family. The roles, the habits, the shared history, they all connect us. And when you tell these stories, you are actually showing people how your family feels, not just what they do.
You know, Jessica, the more I talk about my family, the more I realize one important thing. Family is not perfect. Sometimes arguments happen. Sometimes mistakes happen. But love is always there. And that is what matters. The support, the laughter, the shared memories.
Yes, that is exactly it. Love, care, and small moments. Even small gestures count. A smile, a story, a shared meal, that is family. And that is what we want everyone listening to take away. Not grammar, not vocabulary, but the feeling. And when you talk about your family naturally, you are sharing that feeling.
Absolutely. And viewers, before we wrap up, here's a friendly reminder. If you liked this conversation, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend who might enjoy it, and subscribe to our channel for more friendly English conversations like this one.
And comment below. Tell us one story about your family, one funny memory, or one habit you love. Even just one word. We will read it all and respond when we can.
And remember, family is not only about names or roles. It is about feelings, experiences, laughter, and sometimes small chaos. It is about moments that stay in your heart forever. Talk about them naturally, share stories, describe personalities, mention habits, and most importantly, laugh together.
Exactly. And every time you do that, you are practicing English without even realizing it. You're sharing your world, your heart, and your life. That is beautiful, and we are so glad we could share some of our memories with you today.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We really appreciate you spending this time with us. We hope it brought a smile to your face, maybe a memory from your own family, and maybe a small lesson in expressing yourself naturally.
Yes, and do not forget, like, comment, share, subscribe. Share one small family story in the comments now, and we will be back soon with another friendly conversation. Until next time, stay happy, stay connected, and hug your loved ones if you can.
Absolutely. Sending warmth to all of you. And remember, every family story is unique, beautiful, and worth sharing.
Bye for now, everyone. Take care, and thank you for being here with us.
Bye. See you in the next video.